Hi, thanks for joining me for another Tumbler video. I'm going to be doing this 30-ounce skinny straight. I've got some Mod Podge and paint mixed together and a blend of several different glitters. I will be using this beautiful mermaid tattoo. This is an idea that I got from my friend Lisa Wyatt. She made one of these tumblers, oh gosh, a couple years ago, and I wanted to buy it from her. That's how much I loved it. But it was going to be ridiculously expensive to ship it to Canada. She lives in, I believe she's in Kentucky. So Kentucky to Alberta, yeah, probably could have drove down there and picked it up. Cheaper than what it would have cost to ship it up here. And she said, you just better make one yourself. Well, here I am, a couple years later, finally making one for myself. So when I'm using chunky glitter, I like to do paint and Mod Podge to apply the glitter. I find there's very little chance of seeing any brush strokes or anything like that. And why bother mixing up epoxy and having to deal with all the PPE and the ventilation and all that when you can just whip up some paint and Mod Podge and put her on there. So I think this is, it's probably Artist Loft Aqua, the paint, and Mod Podge, probably about 50-50. The glitter is a mixture of teals, blues, and silver, and probably some fine white. Recollections, Spin It, and then there's a dark blue in there that is from another friend of mine, also a Lisa from Glittergrams in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. I ordered some beautiful glitter off of her, and the blue, the chunky blue that you see in there is Glittergrams. So I just keep dumping my spill off into my cup and applying it. Some tumbler makers make this look really easy and so neat and so coordinated, and I don't. I make a huge mess, and I like doing it. It's fun, applying the glitter. Tapping it really hard to knock off any extra, and then I keep just going back in and applying where I think it needs a little bit more. Pretty straightforward stuff here. This cup was sanded, and I put a base coat of Rust-Oleum 2X Seaside Paint Primer on it before applying the acrylic paint and Mod Podge mixture. This is probably the fastest way for me to get to this point where my cup is glittered and you know, without using the epoxy. So I'm just going with my hand and trying to get some of those big chunks to lay down. What I should have done was put down a piece of parchment paper and use that to catch my glitter. And then afterwards, I could have used it to, you know, roll up my cup and help press that glitter down. But this works just as well. It just takes a little bit more time. I like to go around the lip edge and the bottom edge and get everything really flat, pick off any big chunks of glitter that might be hanging there, because those are the two trouble spots, especially when it comes to using glitter. It goes double for chunky glitter. They're hard to get super smooth, so it's a good idea to go in there and make sure that there's no glitter poking out really badly in those areas right from the start. Then you don't have any worries about sanding it by accident or having any lumps through your epoxy later on. There's nothing worse than that, if you ask me. So I have this cup on the turner now, and I end up applying, I believe, 2, possibly 3 coats of resin. I don't remember. I was doing several cups at the same time, like in the same kind of time frame. So each at different levels of doneness through the process. So I'm not entirely sure if this is fast set or if it's just my regular Artworks resin or Krystal Resin. Regardless, there's 2 or 3 coats with a sanding between the second last one and the last one. If that makes sense. I hope it does. I need a smooth, glossy finish on the tumbler with the resin before I apply the water slide. I don't want to apply my water slide over a sanded surface. Decals, fine, but not tattoos, because there is some transparency with the tattoos. So I've cut around the shape of the tattoo just to make life easier on me. Didn't want it on that big sheet. And I've got some of those blue shop towels soaking just in a container full of water. And I put a little notch on the top and bottom of the tattoo to kind of orientate myself straight up and down. And then these shop towels that are soaking wet, I slowly slide my hand off, leaving the towel behind so that that tattoo stays in place and doesn't move. So you can use paper towel. These shop towels I find are great. They're super absorbent and they're heavier than a regular paper towel. So I find they lay more like a cloth than a light paper towel. And this tattoo did not budge a millimeter by using it this way. So just a small tip. You can get these shop towels anywhere that they sell paper towel, or at automotive shops, or I think they even sell them at the dollar store. Great little things. I think the instructions recommend leaving the tattoo on for about 1.5 minutes. I think I left mine on for that long, possibly a little bit longer. The backing does bubble up slightly, but I think using those blue towels, it hardly bubbled up at all. Or I find if I use just white paper towel, it bubbles up a lot more. And slowly peeling the backing off of the tattoo. And look at that. Oh, it's so pretty. Oh my goodness. I love that mixture of glitter, all the different colors. The tattoo applied beautifully. Really happy with how it went on. And I'm super happy with this. So I am going to be applying a power wash. I didn't record it because I just did it outside, and I'm not really all that coordinated to set up everything outside. And anyway, I will do that someday for you. Power wash is using Dawn Power Wash detergent, a spray paint, and a bucket of water or a hose with water, or even just pouring water out of a bottle or a pail. Some people dunk it in a bucket of water. I use my hose and just rinse it off with the hose flowing out, not not with like a pressure gun or anything like that. So I'm just lightly dabbing up any extra droplets of water that are sitting on top of that tattoo just because I don't want any water spots or anything. Don't rub, just dab lightly. And then I let it dry for a couple hours. I used Rust-Oleum 2X matte white paint and primer to achieve this power wash look. I put 2 more layers of epoxy on my tumbler. This layer is including a little pinch of Just Paint Sparkle White, which is a white mica that looks like a super fine glitter. It's very pretty. I like applying it over anything that has this matte white on it, just to shine it up a little bit, give it a little bit of sparkle and not make it look like a primer so much anymore. Thank you again to Lisa Wyatt. I hope you're watching this and knowing that you inspired me to make this tumbler. I know it's been a while since you made yours, and I'm kind of slow on the turnaround, but it's done. Finally, I can mark it off my to-do list. I'm so happy with how this turned out. It is for sale on my Facebook page. Look me up. I'll leave the link down below. And meanwhile, I'll just keep looking at it on my shelf and admiring how beautiful it is. There she is. So pretty. Extremely happy with this tumbler. Thank you so much for joining me. I've got some different content coming up, including a collaboration with my friend Mandy from Hope Design. And I hope you stick around and come back to watch that, because it should be pretty exciting to see. And let me know what you think of this tumbler in the comments. It's going to be winter here in Canada, so power wash is not really a possibility for too much longer. But if you want to see that process, let me know. I'll see if I can get myself set up outside to record that for you. Thanks for joining me. See you next time. Bye.